Yeah. So anyway, that's how we met.
That's how we met.
That's how you met.
And we fell in love immediately with comedy, and,
Right.
you know, and our minds.
Our minds, yeah.
And I think we were probably separated at birth, don't you?
I
Jim?
think so.
You know?
Yeah, or earlier, perhaps. Several lifetimes.
That's right,
Several-
probably
still
way
trying to
back.
work it out.
They tried to keep us apart through several lifetimes, but we found one another again. And
It's all, now we are hooked up.
well, absolutely together. It's not a tumor. It's my friend Jim.
Yeah.
He just looks like a tumor.
People make that same mistake.
And I look like a tumbler.
Tumblr.
Yeah. Yes, so anyway,
Tumblr, is that a performer?
a tumbler is a Jewish comic who
yeah.
makes fun of things.
That's right.
Like the Hopi mudheads, if you will.
Hopi mudheads.
Hopi mudheads. The mudheads are the Hopi clowns. They
Oh.
fashion their heads out of mud.
Are those big round?
Yeah,
mud
and
that
they
look like-
specifically make fun of the leaders of the Hopi nation.
Really? That's their
Their-
job?
Their
They're like
village. They are
professional
there.
jesters?
They're professional jesters.
Wow.
That's right. They're the
Wow, has there
tumblers.
ever been a Hopi King Lear
Oh,
production?
that would be. You
Wouldn't
know,
that
we
be
should
cool?
probably mount that production.
Let's get that going.
Because those would be really
Absolutely.
cheap costumes. You know,
Yeah.
There's some feathers
Well, that's
and
the best
a big
basis to
mud
plan
head, which is the origin of the character Mudhead in Firesign Theater.
Right,
Yeah, we would have to make a little hole in our head so you can fit through, like the Greeks invented, you know. The Greeks, when they first invented the mask, it was
Yeah.
like, well, what do you think, Socrates? What? Do you like this? I'm sorry, you look great, but I can't understand a word that you're saying, and they're my words.
So
So can we just go hold on? Stop it, you're hurting me. Oh, hey, that's great. Now, could you put some holes for my eyes so I don't fall
They
off
have
the
these
stage?
little funny, funnily mouths.
They
right?
do, a little funny, because there was no electricity. Lots of eccentricity in those days, but no electricity. So they had to speak through these big megaphones. Yeah. Mhm.
Presaging Rudy Valley by many decades. Essentially.
You're right, baby, you're right. That's right. Speaking of that, going back to Yale for my 50th reunion, you know, I think Rudy Valley, it doesn't matter when he went to Yale or not, you think
he
went.
did. You think,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
Big
think he was
beaver
an
coat.
Ivy Leaguer, right?
Yeah.
You know,
And
with a silly, one of those silly straw hats and everything. So, boater.
Boater, the skimmer, yeah.
Yeah, they call it boaters because when people would go canoeing and they'd fall in the water, the hat would still be floating on the surface of the water. So they called it
And if
boater.
it didn't sink, someone would say, you see, I believed it wasn't a boater.
That's right.
I
And
can't believe it's not boater.
And he's not a witch.
A witch?
Oh, what?
Exactly.
A who?
Oh my God, this doesn't end.
Well,
But getting back to the subject,
getting back to the subject.
Me.
Was there a subject? Yeah, Jim, that's right.
my
Jim,
career,
This is Jim's
and
show.
what I think is right.
Well, there
And
are.
I'm just trying to pimp my show down in Encinitas, California next week on May
Good.
19th at the La Paloma Theater at 7 p.m.
Absolutely.
You're pimping in La Paloma?
Well, it's probably
Are you with the
illegal to say
CIA?
so.